Hey guys, enter the stars, and a couple of you have asked me to take a look at Katy Perry's Grammy performance. We're going to do that this morning. I apologize for the interruption with the decode that we did yesterday about Mark Zuckerberg. Apologize for that, you guys. For some reason, it cut us off, and it was at the precise moment that we were basically exposing Zuckerberg's number synchronicities. So for those of you this morning that are able to get on to this show, we were able to get on very easily this morning. Hopefully it stays that way. I am plugged into the Ethernet, so we're going to definitely probably have a better experience. Now, I was able to pull up an actual copy of Katy Perry's Grammy performance, and this is it. It looks to be altered a bit, but that's probably better to avoid copyright. There aren't too many copies of this out on YouTube and probably anywhere. So we're going to play this in slow motion. And I have not watched this. I watched like the first 10 seconds of it. And I do that for a reason. So you guys can see the process by which I come across finding this information and how the Holy Spirit impresses on me how to decipher what is going on. And then we, of course, look at how this fits in to what they're trying to pre-program us for and brainwash us. Now, it appears as though the song that she is singing is called Chained to the Rhythm. And before we get into the decode, I'm going to show you guys something you're not even going to believe. Before I do, please share the link. Let's go ahead and share this. I'm going to share this in case anyone, I don't want anyone to miss the show. So for those of you that are new to this show, this is how I do this. I come in here, I'll share this on Facebook. In case any of you are missing the shows, this is where you can find it in the future, so you can be notified of the shows. So I'm just kind of showing you how I do that before we get into this decode, you guys. Also, when I like any video, it goes straight to my blogger. So if you follow me on Blogger, you'll get notifications that way. So there's many places where I post my live shows for you guys to get notified. And you can just choose whichever one you want. I tweet it out also. I also send it out on Tumblr. Anytime I do a live show, this is what I do. Normally I do this before the show. So apologies that we're having to kind of stop and do this right now. But I think this show is important. I don't want everybody to be notified of it. So we're going to go ahead and share this. And this is also what you can do to share these videos. If any of my videos resonate with you, of course, subscribe. But also make sure that you go through all the share buttons on a video that you may like. And it helps get the word out for those of you that come to Twitter. So we're going to tumble this, and then we're going to go ahead and get started on this, you guys. It's unbelievable. I do know that the performance appears to be channeling the whole Truman Show concept, which, of course, you guys know the Truman Show was a film all about a man who is basically living his entire life underneath a synthetic reality. He was under the dome. Now, this dome has personal significance to me because I believe that we do live inside the eye. Now, I'm going to do a quick side-by-side so you guys can see what is going on here. And this is going to blow you away because I've pulled up the actual lyrics to her song. And as I'm looking at these lyrics, I am seeing the layout of the inner eye in the lyrics. She says, "Are we crazy? Living our life through a lens." Well, here's the lens. Let's pull this image up. You guys, they know what's going on here. This is the bottom portion of, this is looking down, like cutting the eye in half. Here's the lens. Here's the internal ciliary muscles. Okay. These pull the lens open and close. Now, remember, the Truman Show was all about optics. Remember, it was all about these cameras everywhere. Well, a camera is just like an eye. And look at, she says here, living our lives through a lens, trapped in our white picket fence. Here it is right here. Here's the picket fence. It's the ciliary muscles. Okay. Here's the lens. So we have the lens, we have the picket fence. We're the ornaments inside, right? So comfortable, we're living in a bubble. Well, here's the bubble, the inner eye. So comfortable, we cannot see the trouble. Trouble, yes. Aren't you lonely up there in utopia where nothing will ever be enough, happily numb? So this sounds like she's mocking God. God's up in his utopia, right? We're down here. So she's like mocking him. So comfortable, we're living in a bubble, so comfortable, we cannot see the trouble. Basically saying, look, God, you're up there, but we got a bunch of trouble down here, and basically saying he doesn't care. So put on your rose-colored glasses and party on. So she's basically giving us free reign, or basically approving of a sinful life. Just let it all go. Rose-colored glasses. Why the rose-colored glasses? Because this is the Red Sea, remember? The Red Sea is in the center of the eye. It's basically the redness that we see through because we can't get to heaven. Turn it up. It's your favorite song. Dance, dance, dance to the distortion. Turn it up. Keep it on repeat. Stumbling around like a wasted zombie. Yeah, we think we think we're free. Now, this is a true statement here because, and I've said this before on this channel, we were never free in this country. We were told we were free. It was all part of the psyop to make us fight. We become the policemen of the world. And here in America, they needed patriots. So they set up this whole psyop to make us believe that we fought our way back through all odds and opposition. They wrote this into our history books. The devil's insidious, and he knows the beginning from the end down here in this realm. And it transcends generations, which is why it's so hard for anybody to believe, unless they believe what the Bible says, that the enemy is the ruler of this realm, this material reality. He's the ruler down here till Christ returns. So therefore, he can transcend generations and come up with plans that span 200 and 300 years and longer. He has, in fact, an exact plan of the history of man that he wants to enact. So here she's saying it. Says, yeah, we think we're free. Drink this one is on me. We're all chained to the rhythm, Turn it up. It's your favorite song. Now, I think the chain she's talking about is like their dark side version of the hyaloid canal that connects the lens back to the optic nerve. We've talked a lot about this on this channel. So I think at this point, the lyrics begin to repeat. Oh, here we go. Are we tone deaf? Keep sweeping it under the mat. Thought we could do better than that. I hope we can. So comfortable. We're living in a bubble. So comfortable. We cannot see the trouble. Tone deaf. So that's like eyes to see, ears to hear. So this is just another verse here. It's my desire. Break down the walls to connect, inspire. Up in your high place, liars. Time is ticking for the empire. The truth they feed is feeble. As so many times before they greed over the people, they stumbling and fumbling, and we're about to riot. See, this is what they want. It sounds like she's exposing the Illuminati, but she's really not, right? They want the chaos. That's what they want. They want us all to basically snap and rebel so that they can then just control us further, okay? They want the riots in the street because it's chaos, and they want order out of chaos. Let's see here. Let's see what else is going on. Okay, so those are the lyrics to the song. Now that we've determined the similarities to the inner eye in just the lyrics to her song, now we can go to the actual performance. Before we do, I'll make sure you guys are all connected up here. Give a couple shout outs. I see Sarah, Always Hope, Murphy B. Ninja, Cabeza, Hugo Boss, DD, Andrew, Malov Cocktail. Right on. All right, let's keep this going. Here we go, you guys. So again, this is in slow motion. I'm gonna keep it in frame. And there she is. And of course, you see the Truman-esque background. We saw this in the Truman Show, right? I've got this at half speed. Let's do side by side of that, so you guys, for any of those that have not seen the Truman Show, I want to show you some images so that you can kind of get acclimated to what this actually looks like. Okay, Truman Show. Okay, here are some images, and of course, like the walls of this dome end up being his prison, and they just paint the clouds onto it. So as you can see, this is not some kind of a stretch. This is her. Pull this over here. Keep this going. I'm going to turn this down because we really don't need to hear the lyrics. We just saw them. I think there were some Trump references here. And as you can see, she comes out of this door, which is like the same door that Truman came out of, right? He sails his boat to try to escape. As soon as he realizes he's in this prison, he starts picking up on the signs and symbols that something is not right. And this is his life. He does live in a white picket fence world. And as I just showed you, the white picket fence is really this ciliary body of the inner eye. Okay, this is what they're depicting. This is our entire world. They know it, and they know that very few of us know it. But now we're waking up. We see that this is the diagram of our prison. Here's a good image here. Wow. So here's the ciliary body with the lens. This is exactly what we're looking at here. Look at this. It's so exact. It's almost funny. It's laughable that we didn't catch this before. I'm going to do a side by side of this. We're going to use this as our let's see here. We're going to use this as our snapshot for when I upload this video, because I'm shocked. Like, no one's figured this out yet. No one has seen this. And there's your white picket fence. They show it around the viewing table. Let's do this. Unbelievable, you guys. So I just snapshotted this, and we're going to save this as our, let's crop this. So this is it. This is the eye. There's always something new and exciting on this channel to discover. It seems to happen spontaneously, which is really neat. Okay. Which is the way it's supposed to work, you guys. We're going to call this Truman Show. All right, so we got that saved. Okay, so now we can continue on with this. So we have this here. This is where they actually viewed Truman. This was like the model in the film. Many people use this to say we live on the flat earth. I think it's a little bit more complex than that. I believe we actually live on the surface of this dome at the bottom of the inner eye. Here, we live on the surface of it, and that all of this is our dome, which is kind of like, it's really just semantics at that point, right? Let's keep going with this. Now that we see that she is channeling the Truman Show, because this is exactly what they showed. You could see the seams in this here. When he finally goes up to the actual wall, it's kind of imperfect, and you can kind of see the seams of the clouds and how they fit it together. But it doesn't matter, because you're so far away that you never see the details of it. See, like the stairs, like if he was up close, he would have seen this, right? But he wasn't. He was viewing his world from far away. Let's keep going with this. So there she goes. She's singing. She's got her black and white Illuminati. There's the picket fence. This is the ciliary body, as we just told you. Ciliary muscles inside the eye. And she's singing. And the clouds are going across her white picket fence in her world. Her roof of the house here comes out of the doorway, just like Truman. I think Truman actually does this kind of, when he comes out, he puts his hands, here it is, okay? So this is kind of like what she's doing here. Unbelievable. Let's keep this going. Now, this whole thing with Truman being a sailor and the boat, you see he's got his sailor sweater and he's going to sail out of his prison, right? And that has significance, okay? Here's an iconic picture here. The sailboat has significance because all of the prison really is to maritime law, naval, like your navel is your belly button. That's how we're born into this world, okay? Analogy of being born is also the eye, and we've explained to you guys comparisons of how the eye is exactly like the womb, okay? I showed you how the umbilical cord is the hyaloid canal, and the Red Sea is the vitreous humor. You're inside the womb, and the placenta is the retina surrounding and giving blood to the fetus inside, and how the image comes into your eye upside down, and how that is just like a child being placed upside down in the womb before they're born. They're crowning upside down. There are so many similarities between the eye and the womb, and then that transcends over into maritime law, admiralty law, they call it, which is a set of laws that basically imprison us into this material world. This goes deep. It goes into not really owning anything in this material world. Like it's all ruled by the queen and admiralty, okay, marine, the navy, naval, right? And there are a lot of other channels that go into much more detail regarding the water theme and the navy theme. And the water theme is because they're trying to depict the amniotic fluid and the vitreous humor of the eye, which is the fluid inside of the womb, the fluid inside of the eye. And they're depicting that. And so all of their laws are based off of the navy and the water and maritime law, okay? That's what they're depicting here. They're reinforcing the prison. And that is why they show Truman trying to make his final escape in a sailboat. I mean, that's about as real as it gets, you guys. Let's keep going with this. Let's make sure we're connected still first. All right, good. Good morning, everybody. Let's see if we're still connected. Good. All right, let's keep going with this. So she's got her devil horn hands, of course. She loves doing that. And look how carefully she does that. Look at, see her hand? She has to make sure that she's doing it right. Look at her hand. See this? Very, very carefully. It's very carefully choreographed, carefully planned. Now, obviously, they've taken a chunks out of this, probably for copyright reasons. We're not seeing the full frame, which is probably better because we could get in trouble for playing this too. So there are the clouds moving, which it's funny because we don't even have real clouds anymore. So that's kind of a joke too. Let's back this up a little bit. So here we are, right? This is what clouds used to look like, right? This is what clouds used to look like. And now what do we have? We have chemtrail skies that look nothing like this anymore. We don't have real clouds anymore. So I'm starting to wonder, what was real? Was the clouds that I remember as a child real? Or was the chemtrail sky always there and they were just posting this fake sky up there? Like, who knows? Like, everything's backwards, right? In this reality. So definitely something going on with that. Let's keep this going. Okay, so she's just singing. What does that say on her arm? What's that on her armband? Whoa, it says something. It's like in purple. It's all chopped off. Oh, well. Well, at least we're getting the gist of this. Okay, then, whoa, what is that? Something just blew through there. So she's like chopped out of the frame. Let's keep going with this. Now we got the purple. It's the red and blue. So she's just kind of like up there, like singing, right? She comes out of her white picket fence, it appears. Lightning, Lucifer came like lightning from heaven. She's dancing behind this white picket fence. This is all about the picket fence. There's your Illuminati pyramid. Now, this pyramid here definitely has something to do with the angle of vision coming into your eye. Now, if you look at eye diagrams, and I've talked about this before. So if you look at the eye diagrams and the pathway of light, I'm going to show that to you. I'm also going to show you why we're born upside down in this reality. I'm going to show that to you, okay, after I get to the pathway of light. Let's see here. Now, this is new information, okay? Human eye, pathway of light. I mean, if you've been on this channel, you've heard me talk about these things before. But if you have not, if you're not haven't been on this channel, then you will not know what I'm talking about. Okay, so here it is. We have the pathway of light, view image. Comes into your eye. The image is reversed, okay? This is the as above, so below. Your brain is what turns it around, okay? Now you're going to notice here, let's pull this up a little bit more. What you're going to notice here is the light comes in and it's reversed. The image is reversed because your lens, that's what lenses do, it reverses everything. It's projected upside down on the back wall of your eye. Your brain is what flips it back around. So we're always seeing things through this lens of imperfection. This is where the devil comes in, okay? This is where he applies his deception. And I'm not exactly sure how that mechanism works, but that's how it works. Now, when you're born upside down. Because why? Because as I told you, the eye is an analogy of the womb. So everything that's going on in the eye, you can compare it to the child in the womb. Here's our white picket fence, as you can see here. They're showing it like in a purple color here, but this is really like whitish. Here's the lens, as she said, seeing through the lens with the white picket fence. She knows exactly what's going on, or at least her handlers do, the people that write her music know exactly what's going on, and they want to continue to reinforce these things into your subconscious, because obviously very few people know what this stuff means. Very, very few people. I do, because I've been given the gift to know. So Casey, how is the eye like the womb? I'll repeat it one more time for you guys. Okay. This lens moves back and forth. It is opened and closed through these muscles to focus on objects. That's like the cervix, which also opens and closes to allow the child through into the world of reality. We have the retina supplying the eye with blood. That is the placenta. We have the image coming out upside down, just like the child is upside down. Child's head's here, child's body's here. Child's born into this world. We also have the umbilical cord, which is the child connecting child nutrition to the mother. And there's also an umbilical cord inside the eye. It's called the hyaloid canal. As I just told you, it's basically a vessel, blood vessel, that connects the lens to the optic nerve. And in utero, in other words, when the child's in the womb, it is fully functional. It's providing blood to the lens to help develop the lens. And it forms this network of vessels around the lens to keep building it up and growing it. Then when the child's born, the vessel atrophies, it falls away through cell destruction. And then you have this canal. It's like an empty space. It's like a silver cord. It never really goes away. And people see it as floaters sometimes, as pieces of remnants left in here. So you see the analogies are pretty close to what your eye is, okay? So why did the Illuminati worship the pyramid? They worship the pyramid because it represents this lower pyramid formed by the light coming into your eye. They want to be the light. That's why they call themselves the eye, the all-seeing eye with the pyramid on top. That's what you're looking at right here. This first pyramid, just this first part. They want to be the below. And they want to rule over this world. And we live right on top of this lens here, just like the Truman Show. They want to rule this. So this is their pyramid and their all-seeing eye. Okay? Don't believe me? Let me show you. Illuminati.org. I've covered some of this before, but you know, it's always good to repeat these things, especially for new people that come to the channel. That's why I don't put up with trolls, because the evidence is overwhelming, but the trolls will come and try to create deceit for the new people that show up. This is the Illuminati website right here, hiding in plain sight. And there is your eye with the lower pyramid, as I told you, right? And the eye, they're showing it to you. There's the vesica Pisces, the football. Oh, here it is here. This is what we need to see right here. Okay, this is the eye, you guys. This is what they want. They want you in this lower pyramid. See, that's exactly what we're looking at. We're looking at the same exact thing, right? Well, what they forget is there's this upper pyramid. Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within. That's where you'll find the truth. The map of the truth is within our anatomy, which God created. And we are fully allowed to look at our anatomy to find truth, because the Bible tells us we can. This is not occultic. It's not evil. This is the truth. Only God created our bodies. So therein we find the truth, like any architect would do. But the devil wants you looking out into the material. He doesn't want you to look into your body, because the devil cannot control how your body was made, because he did not create you. He wants you looking out into this realm, which he rules. He rules this realm. Okay. Okay. He doesn't want you to understand this as above, so below. Okay. So that's pretty much in a nutshell. So that's why the roof of the house with the picket fence, this is exactly what you're looking at. You're looking at this. You are looking at this. In fact, we're going to do here, save image. Wish I could flip this around for you guys. But basically, this is what you're looking at. This is this. Is this. The white picket fence with the triangle and the lens. Let's keep going with this. I think I pretty much beat that to death. Anytime I get a good stream, I want to make sure and be thorough with you guys, because then it gives the trolls no ammunition. No ammunition at all to challenge this work. This is real. Now, the lightning is signifying Lucifer's rule over this reality in the eyes of good and evil. You have two eyes in your head. One eye is good, one eye is evil. Why is one eye good, one eye evil, Casey? Because one eye is connected to your left brain and one eye is connected to your right brain. They cross in the middle. One of them is evil. Jesus said, if your right eye causes you to sin, gouge it out. If your right hand causes you to sin, gouge it, cut it off. He said that because your right is connected to your left brain. The left brain is the bad part of your brain that thinks it doesn't need a Messiah. And your right brain is the good part of your brain that knows it needs a savior. That's why Jesus said, cast your net to the right side. Cast your neural net to the right side. That's the right brain, the Messiah brain. So now looks like the pickets are turning colors, maybe. Ooh, they're turning into mirrors. Okay, this is the realm of illusion. Okay, this is everything I just talked about right here. Why, Casey? Because it's a mirror. right? Everything is an illusion because it's flipped upside down. We're looking at a reflection of the true nature of this reality. Reflection. That's exactly what's going on here. As this light passes through the lens of your eye, you're looking at a reflection. This is unbelievable. So they turn into mirrors, these picket fences. Now she's the showman right here, right? She's got her black and white Illuminati. This is their whole thing. They're performing for us all the time to try to deceive us. Man, that is so exact. Keep going with this. Notice how it's got these in sets of 3 here. You're asking, well, what's up with the 3s, Casey? I'm going to show you. There are 3 layers of deception always. Underneath the cornea, when you do a cross section, you have a matrix, honeycomb matrix. Let me go over this real quick. Google cornea, hexagon, cross section. Oops. There are 3 levels of deception. Cornea. Oops, sorry. Cornea. Okay, let's look at some images of this real quick. This is the corneal hexagonal structure. It's underneath the cornea. Here it is here. It is a honeycomb matrix. It's called the endothelial cells of your cornea. This is the first layer of deception. This is the first matrix. See all the hexagons? This is a honeycomb matrix. Casey, where is the next level of deception? Everything comes in 3s, right? Next level of deception is the lens of your eye, hexagon. Also has a hexagonal matrix. Hexagon lens eye diagram. Oops. Diagram. Going over the 3 levels of deception. Here it is. You do a cross section of the inner lens of the eye. So we went from the cornea now to the lens. We're working our way deeper into the eye, looking at the deception. Casey, didn't God create our eyes? Why would all this be inside of our eyes? Because this is not our original plan for our bodies. God encoded in our bodies the curse under the serpent, as well as the plan of salvation. Here's the cross section of the lens of your eye. It has the same hexagonal matrix right here. So now we've gone from the cornea to the lens. Where's the last layer of deception, Casey? Here it is right here. It is the rods and cones by cross section. And guess what? Pull this up here. The last layer of, here it is. This is the cross section of the inner wall. In other words, this back wall right here looks like this. So there are your 3 layers of deception. Everything comes in 3s. 1, 2, 3. And God did not create us this way in our original nature because Eve's eyes were closed, right? And it wasn't until she ate of the tree that her eyes were opened. The lens cap came off of her eyes. She was now able to look out into the material world and be deceived. That's when she knew she was naked. Before, she had a lens cap on here, so she didn't know she was naked. I don't know if maybe we experienced our reality within our own minds and bodies. And then after the fall, we fell into this material realm looking out. This is where this is the devil's playground. He can do anything he wants out here. This is the truth. Let me make sure we're still connected, because at this point they would probably want to disconnect this live stream because I'm talking some deep truth here, you guys. All right, let's keep going with this. Finish up this stream. So this is why we see these three at a time. This is three mirrors, the 3 layers of deception. Wow, this is unbelievable. I had no idea this was going to be packed so full of this stuff. So, and she's part of this. Okay, there's the water. Okay, so the water, see the waves and water. This is the maritime. This is the vitreous humor of the eye. We're inside the eye. Troubled waters. We're also inside the womb, as I described to you. Now, I'm wondering if there's like this picket fence like structure inside the womb too. That would be interesting for me to try to find, because that would be more confirmation, right? That the eye is the womb. I hope all this is starting to set in, you guys, and you're starting to understand how this works. Now, the people at the top know all this information I'm telling you. Obviously, I didn't go through that route to get this information because I did not sell out. But the Holy Spirit wants us to know this information because it helps us understand. There's the Red Sea. This is the vitreous humor. Right? Wow. Holy Spirit wants us to understand so that we can be impervious to this sorcery. Okay? Because all this, what you're looking at here, is sorcery. This is what this is. Okay. Why do you think that a home is constructed with a cube, with a triangle on top, a pyramid on top? It's constructed that way for a reason, because it's got you locked in the cube and the deception both at the same time. What is the cube, Casey? This is the cube. Cube is a hexagon. Cube, hexagon. Look at this. Here it is. This is a 3D cube, but it's also a hexagon. Okay? It's a cube, but it's also a hexagon. And our homes are constructed with a cube and a pyramid on top. Here's the matrix. This is this, and this, and this. And then the triangle on top is this. Okay? So even the construction of our homes represents the prison. Okay? And this is how they keep us in this mindset. Now, so you're wondering, well, what are the steps of the Truman Show? These are the steps. These are the steps that Truman walked up. Okay? These are the steps that Truman walked up. It is the depiction of a hexagon and a cube together. See, you see the honeycomb matrix, but you also see three-dimensional cube together in this depiction. See, these are the steps. Unbelievable. Okay, let's keep going with this. It looks like it's almost over. Everything turned to fire. They want the chaos. That's why. And remember, in her lyrics, she was singing about rioting and chaos. She was singing about this. That we're going to wake up and we're going to fight against you. But see, no one knows what any of this means. So they're completely playing on your fears, all of the fears they create. They're creating the chaos in this world. And then they're throwing it in your face that absolutely nobody knows what this occult symbolism means. Okay. Now what happened here? Her hair turned black. The heck? Oh, she changed outfits apparently. Whoa, did you see this? I just saw some checkers. See, they're flashing this imagery. See if we can catch that. Whoa, did you see that? Whoa, those look like buildings right there. Is that the whoa, is this the Twin Towers? See the spire there? I don't know. Maybe not, because there's only one. I don't know what this is. Unbelievable. Let's see if we can catch that. Catch that again. What is she wearing? Almost looks like a Japanese outfit or something, right? You know, look at the imagery in this. Those look like cross sections of the brain. Okay, so there's obviously some checkerboarding going on there. What these images are. Wish we had a better copy of this. So her hair went black. Okay, so what is this? She just went from good to evil. The eyes of good and evil. She went from blonde to black. There's the duality world again. And the checkerboards, of course. Are they getting a little more subtle? No, who is this? That's not even her. That's somebody else. Okay, there it is. So this duality world. Oh, this is a horrible copy of this. So there's a duality world. So even though that's not her, of course, there she is here. They're reinforcing the right eye and the left eye, right? But they mix them all together so that they can, what the heck? So everyone comes out from behind the veil, from behind their parts and their pieces. And this is what they're doing. Our whole construct, just like in the Matrix movie, we're living in a construct, and they've constructed it. This is why it is not good to focus your reality on the synthetic in this realm. You're going to find way more truth looking into nature and not accepting their version of nature, okay? Because they're gonna tell you science, right? I believe you see them spinning these spinning this. They're three pickets of the fence, right? Spinning these. What I believe they're representing are like the angels that were set at the edges of the garden to guard us from going, and they were cherubim, and they were spinning their swords. This is in the book of Genesis. That's probably what they're depicting there. And you see all this strobe lighting effect. Okay, that's how they get you. Everyone is under like a hypnosis. Well, we the people, unbelievable. There's this theme, right? This theme, and I've been telling you guys this. We covered this hours before the halftime show for the Super Bowl. We actually showed you a We the People saluting the flag episode of Star Trek. Don't believe me? Go to my channel and look at the upload time. Before anybody knew what Lady Gaga's halftime performance would be about, before anybody knew this patriotic theme of her saluting the flag, we did the exact same thing. We talked about fallen angels, falling stars from heaven. We talked about 1,000 points of light, very specifically in that video. And everything that we said in that video happened hours later at the halftime performance. And this is not to toot my horn. This is God showing you that he's on this channel, that he's trying to wake people up. And here we have the theme again, We the People, the Constitution, okay, with Katy Perry and her halftime performance. Interesting. So that's about it, concludes it. See, then they're showing the unity in the end between, they're bringing together everything under their synthetic, the synthetic unity. This is not the unity that God wants. This is the unity of the enemy. False unity. Do what thou wilt. That is the realm that he wants. Do whatever you want. Doesn't matter if it's a sin. Doesn't matter if it's an abomination of the Lord. In Satan's reality, you can do whatever you want as long as you're not hurting someone else. So that's about it. Wow, we actually made it through a live show. Unbelievable. I'm going to pop back in the chat. Make sure you guys are okay. Yeah, watch out for those strobe lights. That was bizarre. That was starting to give me a headache. Let's refresh this. So hopefully all of this made sense to you guys. We'll get this video uploaded. And you guys have any questions? Possibly in the Oroville Dam. Yeah, I heard about that dam that's about to, it almost looks like basically the dam is going to break. I mean, when's the last time that's happened in this country? And remember, there was all this talk about Hoover Dam, going and all this, and all the people that would die from that, and that never happened, of course. I know a couple channels tried to predict that the Hoover Dam was going to blow, and they said it was going to blow on such and such date and such year, and it never happened. Unfortunately, many of us have short memories. We don't remember when these channels say things are going to happen, they don't happen, and then people continue following these channels. But that's the matrix we live in, right? There's always new news, and people forget the past. Let's see here. So I'm looking in the chat if you guys have anything you want to talk about. Thanks, Jodek St. George. Says nice presentation. Appreciate that. Thank you, Always Hope. Appreciate that. Evan Almighty equals Oroville Dam, says Genia. Okay. It is broke. The Hoover Dam is next. Yeah, we did a live show one time or something, or I don't know if it was live or not, but we were looking at Hoover Dam live on Google Earth, or at least I caught it on screen cap, and the whole screen in Google Earth transferred us without us pressing any buttons to this place. And we're actually able to see the beast coming up out of the sea. It was unbelievable. I think we were overlaying the dollar bill over Hoover Dam, and it was like lining up in different spots. It was weird. Thanks, Run to Christ. He says he just woke up. His gear's not in brain. Good breakdown. No worries. Yeah, sometimes it's good to surprise these elite, because they are on this channel, believe it or not, you guys. They try to control this channel. They try to censor it. I don't know if they're shooting out some kind of disruptor waves. And anytime I plan a show and try to go live with a plan so that all of you guys can show up, it gets sabotaged almost every single time. And for those of you that were on yesterday, and then you compare that to today, where the stream is healthy and good, we haven't been interrupted, we got through the whole thing, no problems at all. And yesterday, we got sabotaged like 10 minutes into the broadcast. And so you see the difference. You see how much easier it is now because I just popped on here and nobody knew. Plus the trolls, they go to sleep. Monday morning is like they're all sleeping, or they go to their day jobs or whatever. Soon all this is going to be automated. This censorship and sabotage is going to be automated, and they're not going to need people to come in and do this. More Grammy breakdown tonight, asked Run to Christ. No, I'm probably pretty much that's going to be it, unless anyone has any recommendations. I know a lot of the bigger channels are definitely covering the Grammys. I wanted to go in depth into Katy Perry's performance, a special request. So I wanted to make sure I went into that. Betty says she checked out Oroville Dam on Google Earth. It looked pretty perfect. Jungle Surfer called it Ouroboros. Mohammed says, look into the Dajjal. You might be interested. Yeah, yesterday was Zuckerberg, Friends in Truth. Absolutely. Yeah, that was weird. That was the weirdest live stream I've ever done, because what happened is when I got on, everything was going good for like 10 minutes. And as soon as I got into Mark Zuckerberg being born on May Day, the occult high holy Sabbath of Satan and the Illuminati, which requires sacrifice. And then I compared that to the sacrifice of Hunt, the guy who played in 1984. He was sacrificed one day after the 1984 book made the top 10 bestsellers list. All of a sudden, the stream got cut. And then normally I come right back on. So I tried to come back on, and I opened up my Google Hangout, and it would not complete. It got stuck at 99%. It would not let me go live. Then I rebooted my browser, tried it again, would not let me go live. Then I rebooted my entire computer. I tried it again, would not let me go live. It was like my channel was banned from going live yesterday. But then today I come on and everything's fine. I can go live like that. Boom. Now, some people will say, oh, it's because of a weekend and YouTube's bandwidth is busy and all this. Listen, I don't buy into that. That's what they want you to believe. That way they can get away with censoring people. Okay. Make no mistakes. The weekends is when most people are watching live streams. And they're going to stop people from watching the live streams they want to. Plain and simple. Okay. All right. What else do we have? The spillway has a 500-foot hole, 45 feet deep. Wow. Unbelievable. It was the NSA. Yeah, speak freely. If you can't speak freely, you're simply not free. You know what Monogram says? So absolutely. They're monitoring all this stuff. It picks on key stuff. Exactly. It's almost like they hear the key words. And for those of you that think that's crazy, watch my show on Is Your Phone Listening to You? And you will be shocked. They've already bought the patents on this technology. This is why when you're talking about something with your friend or your spouse or whatever, and all of a sudden you look on your phone and there's an advertisement for it, it pops up out of nowhere, or it pops up in your in your stories for your news stories, your news feed. It's because they're listening to your story, to what you're talking about. And so what makes us think that they're not applying this technology to whatever we talk about on this YouTube channel and whatever is streaming live? And then some kind of trigger, some kind of mechanism takes place, and it cuts off the conversation, cuts off the communication. Because they don't want a million of us knowing things that I just covered on the show this morning. They don't want a million of us knowing that. Because if a million of us knew that, first of all, we'd probably stop watching the Grammys. And if we did watch it, their sorcery would have no effect on us. In other words, we wouldn't be going goo goo gaga over Katy Perry and buying her clothes and her records. And if we're not doing any of those things, then we're worthless to them. They don't want us watching if we're not going to be under the spell. You see? And so they don't want a million of us not under the spell, because then if that happens, then they're exposed and it doesn't work. The prison doesn't work. It's like a hamster cage with a giant hole in the side where the hamster can run in and out. What's the use of the hamster cage? Run to Christ says he can't even do hangouts on YouTube. Won't let him. Yeah, they pick on some of us more than others. I got a lot of respect for Run to Christ's work. It's almost like we have he's a different person, of course, but it's almost like we have similar minds of the level of being awake. And he does a much better job at editing and putting it all together. I'm kind of an old horse, so I don't get into as much of the editing and make it look pretty. But many of us need to see it that way in order to absorb the information, because that's the reality we live in, right? So I can just kind of speak to some of these things and decode them, and I do some kind of rudimentary editing and put up videos for you guys. But there's some up and comers like Run to Christ that do really great work, who are going to basically be the future of all this when I'm long gone. Okay. Either censored out of existence, killed, or whatever they want to do with me. Right. And so they probably pick on him more because they know that he's kind of the future. And so, yeah, I believe that he can't do live streams. I totally believe that. It happened to me yesterday. I was shocked. Never happened to me before. But I think I'm reaching more people. They do like to troll this channel heavily. And no matter how many trolls we get rid of, there's new waves. They're like hordes. When the devil says we are legion, he's not joking. I mean, it just keeps coming. You would think that at a certain point, they would all you would delete as many, they would just all go away because they would all be deleted. But no, there's more behind them. They come in waves, like armies of trolls. So, what else do we have here? Thanks, Will, man. Appreciate it. There's T. Kerr in the house. Appreciate you, T. Kerr. Yeah, the custom. If you got a powerful computer, the encoders are great. If you got a powerful computer and if you have good bandwidth, good internet. My internet is bad, and my computer is like basically I have a Dell, and it's just I mean it does certain things, but that's not its strength. I think my biggest problem is the bandwidth. I have like an upload speed of like 0.35 kilo megabits per second, which is like garbage. It's amazing I can even hold a stream. So when I try to use an encoder to do my live shows, I've tried it actually. It just does not work. Quality's low, it's dropping in and out. So I gave up on the encoder, at least until I get better internet. And so that's what's up with that. Um, Only downside is I can't get people in the show, says Run to Christ. Let's see, how did I do that? Yeah, yeah, that's a bummer. You can't. The way you'd probably want to do that is you open the Hangout, Google Hangout, Run to Christ. I'm talking to you specifically here. And then you record the Hangout through the broadcaster. That's how you would do that. You don't take the Hangout live. You do like a private Hangout, and then you can record the Hangout through the broadcaster and go live through the broadcaster. That's how you bring people into the show. I did figure that out. There's Behold, he cometh with clouds. Much love to you. Let's see. I told you I had a Wi-Fi signal modem. You could have Casey Wi-Fi signal modem. Yeah, my problem isn't that, John. It's my problem is the internet. I have DSL here. Goes through the phone line. It's not a so that's the problem. There's no cable line or basically I'm going through a phone jack, and there's nothing you can do about that. Jonathan Kleck shows where the Vatican Philisica shows a beast out of the sea and serpent with tongue. Yeah, a lot of this imagery goes back to ancient times, you guys, especially the Vatican. It is packed. Like you could literally, if you could take a trip to the Vatican, you could literally spend your lifetime decoding all the artifacts and buildings and everything. All right. What else do we have here? Get in the chat. I think I need another cup of coffee, you guys. I think I'm going to probably get off of here. Yeah, everybody sub Run to Christ. Got really good stuff. He sees like, okay, so like I'm one person, so I can't cover everything. And I miss a lot of stuff. I kind of just cover what the Holy Spirit leads me to cover. And of course, I have personal preferences. I cover a lot of sci-fi stuff and stuff like that. There's Elias, partner there. What's up, my friend? Casey, what do you think of Bigfoot? Something about how they can time travel at tree trunks. Ooh. Yeah, that was in wait, let me finish my other thought here. What were we talking about? No, I already forgot. See, I already forgot. We were talking about what I cover on this channel. Run to Christ covers a lot of the TV shows. He does some gaming. I had someone get really upset with me through my personal email about me not covering gaming and saying that somehow because I didn't cover gaming, that made me a shill because there's all this stuff to uncover. Look, I don't like gaming, so I don't cover it. I don't have a gaming system. If you want to look at gaming stuff, go to channels like Run to Christ. We're the body of Christ, you guys. Each of us have our own gift. I can't do it all. I do what I like to do, okay, which is like sci-fi, some of these thriller, light horror. I don't get into the deep horror stuff because that's bizarre and evil. And I cover, I decode some of these current events. I look at math. I look at calendars. I look at deaths. I look at births. Okay. But if you want to go and you get into gaming, there are a few gaming truther channels. Focus on where the talent is. Go to channels like that with your suggestions. And then I support those channels like I'm doing now. Okay. So if you want Run to Christ to cover Metal Gear, I think was what they told me to cover. I don't even know the names of these games. Okay, I used to, but not so much anymore. So Bigfoot. Okay, thanks, Genia. You guys are keeping me on track here. Okay, so the tree trunks. And it's Murphy B. Ninja. It's interesting that you mentioned that because in the TV series called Stranger Things, they travel interdimensionally through these tree trunks. Now, this is going to be a great project for Run to Christ, and I hope you take the ball on this, my friend, because this is huge. Because I've seen you cover the Stranger Things TV show, which was fascinating to me as well. I've covered it as well, but I like that you've stuck with it, and it sounds like you're going to start decoding season 2 of that TV series as well. The tree trunks are significant because, as I've told you guys, the reason why you travel interdimensionally through trees is because that's originally how we did it. That's why we have all these stumps, these giant hexagonal matrices cut off, and the cross section looks like a stump. Because these used to be the conduits back to the garden. They were all cut off. They used to be the conduits. They used to reach the heavens. If you don't believe me, look up Ezekiel 31. It describes in exact detail these large trees that were even greater than the trees of the garden. They reached all the way to the heavens. They covered all of the nations of the world. And when they were cut down, they fell into all the rivers and valleys of earth. Those were some huge trees. So this is what they're depicting in Stranger Things TV show when they show these kids traveling interdimensionally through these tree trunks. I think that was on that show. Yeah, like that's how they went into the, like she was pulled through a tree trunk. Okay. So someone also suggested that that's how these Bigfoots were traveling through these tree trunks. Murphy B. Ninja said that. So maybe that's where that comes from. Maybe that's where that theory comes from. Okay. Guess you could call it a legend. So hopefully that's clear. They crawled through the trunk. Yes. So that's what that was depicting. Now, I had missed that to this point. The only reason why, because I had decoded Stranger Things or parts of it, and I watched that scene, but I didn't really know what it meant. But now it's starting to make sense. It's all starting to gel what they were trying to depict. They were trying to depict this conduit, except remember, everything's a mirror. What did they call it? The underworld? Is that what they called it? The inverse world or the underverse? I forget what they called it. But anyway, what they were, so everything is in reverse. So instead of the trees taking you to the garden, take you to heaven, they took you to hell. Was what they depicted in this television show, Stranger Things. So, all right, Gordy's from Maryland. Hello, Gordy. Time portals, yes. Murphy V Ninja. Alice in Wonderland, yes. The bridge between above and below, yes, Willman. Silver white Bigfoot by the river and trees in Bama. Yeah, they mix it with lies. Mix the truth with lies. Okay. All right. So, I think that's about it, you guys. I think I need some coffee. If I'm going to stay awake today. I got up early this morning. I always get up early. I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning. But then I'm in bed by 7 or 8. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get off here, you guys. I appreciate you guys coming out this morning. I know it's early. You can almost always catch me early in the morning on the live show. I'm not saying you should stay up and wait, but if you are on any of these social medias, platforms, you're going to get notifications through there if you're constantly checking. A lot of people use Twitter. I'm always going to tweet out stuff. So always check that. I'm learning that you have to hit these share buttons. I never used to use these share buttons before. I would assume that people that come to my channel are subscribed and they'll get notifications, but not all of you are on YouTube all the time. So now I've had to really start using these share buttons to get people to consistently be able to see my videos. But he says, I love how the Lord allows us to decode all this stuff. Glory to God and His Spirit. Yes, because otherwise it can be a very lonely and lost place in this world. Betty, exactly, because we see all these things passing before our eyes and it doesn't make sense to us. It's actually kind of confusing. I mean, watching this Katy Perry thing, people, my first impression, I'm trying to imagine what my impression would have been of her performance while if I was asleep still. Like, what would I have thought of that? And what I would have thought was I probably would have got the Truman Show connection, but that's pretty much where it would stop. And I would have probably thought it was in poor taste and kind of dumb because it did look kind of dumb and basic and stupid. There wasn't really a lot of choreography to it in terms of dancing. And that's pretty much where I would have left it. And imagine being in a world where nothing really makes sense on a basic level. And now imagine the kind of susceptibility you would have to not knowing what you're looking at. But yet it's still passing through your mind, your senses, and your subconscious. You see? This is what they thrive on. It's like it's hypnotism to a degree. But when you understand what it all really means, some people can't handle that either because it's just too much. They don't want to know. They can't handle the truth. Okay? But the truth has set me free. Why? Because I'm never going to go to a Katy Perry concert. I don't care who asks me. I'm never going to go to a Super Bowl. I might go to one movie a year to decode it. That's it. I'm not going to go feel like I have to be there. I'm not going to give into social pressure to be part of this beast system. I'm never going to get a home mortgage again. I'm never going to invest into a 401k. You see how free you become when you're awake because you get that the whole game is rigged? You see, it actually does set you free if you're ready to leave the system. If you're not ready to leave, then it becomes a constant reminder of how you have not totally given it over and picked up your cross and followed Christ. And that can wear on your psyche. It can make you feel guilty because you know the truth, but who actually wants to enact it in their life? Very few people. That's why it's called the narrow gate. That is why it's called the narrow gate, because few actually walk through it. Very few people can. They want to stay in the material. They still want to go to a Super Bowl. They still want to like Katy Perry. They still want to think she's great and she's talented, and they want their little girls to listen to her, even though she's walking around with pizza slices on her. You see how sick and disgusting this is? Whereas if you've been set free from the truth, then you reject all that. You don't have to hate her, but you just reject it. You reject what she represents. And now you're free from it. You're free from the emotional turmoil. You're free from the negative sorcery of it all. Make no mistake, when you show up to these concerts, you are exposed to something. I don't care how careful you think you are. I don't care how much you pray for protection. You are exposed to something. People die. Some of these deaths, all these different things, these sacrifices, you become part of that. So that's what's going on. And basically, these people, I don't even hate them. I actually feel sorry for these actors and movie stars because many of them are under such heavy drugs that they don't even know what they're doing. All they've done is sold out. That's all they've done. They show up. Now they're famous. They've got all this money. And basically, their handlers do everything for them. Tell them what to say, where to go. The only thing they're good at is following directions. That's all they're good at. I feel sorry for them because that's the epitome of selling out. You just sold out. The devil took your talents that God gave you, and he's using them for his agenda. That's exactly what's going on with all these people that have made it to the top. I don't care how confident and how talented you think they are and how much you think that they're great and they're better than all. They're not. They simply know how to follow directions. That's it. They're handled well. And at the top is the devil pulling their strings. That's the truth. And any of you out there that are aspiring to be famous and aspiring to be, let it go. Let it go. Happiness is with less. Happiness is with less of that kind of attention. So I think that's about it, you guys. I think I pretty much beat the dead horse and talked your ear off. I'm glad that, wow, almost 70 of you guys showed up today. That's awesome for 5 o'clock in the morning. Appreciate each and every one of you. For those of you that I've talked to on a personal level, please come to my Facebook. I talk to many of you on Facebook. Please help support the website. I'm going to put it in here. www.enterthestars.com. Support the website. And actually, I think if I just do it like this, you'll be able to click on enterthestars.com. And there's some things that you can do on the website to help support it. I've talked to many of you about that. I can't really talk about it publicly because of the rules of Google. So, so just go over there and help support that. And then that'll stay up. It'll always be there for us. So now we have 2 backup platforms. We have the website, of course, and we also have If You Only Knew, my backup channel, in case they try to mess with this main channel. So we'll always be able to decode stuff and stay in touch with you guys. Yeah, I'm Enter the Stars on Facebook. It's 5T4RZ is the, yes, same on Facebook. Thanks, T. Kerr. Feel free to message me on Facebook. That's okay to do, you guys. Appreciate that. So I think that's about it, you guys. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Have a great day, buddy. You too. Thanks, friends in truth. Have a great day, you guys. Take care and be safe.